Alright, well it is pretty much the halfway point of the 2022-23 Premier League season. And a lot of people have been putting out their halfway Premier League team of the seasons. Now mine is very, very interesting, let me say. Basically, the starting 11 consists of only 2 teams. There is 3 teams, only 1 player from the 3rd team, but it's basically a 2-team starting 11 for the halfway point of the Premier League team of the season. I just think in every position that's necessary, these teams fit the mould. So, let's get into my halfway point team of the season. If you agree, disagree, let me know down in the comments what you would change. Up to your opinion. So yeah, this could be controversial, but here we go. There's the team. Let's start off with goalkeeper, and I'm going to go with Aaron Ramsdale. For me, there are a few contenders. Ramsdale, Allison, David Raya from Brentford. They were sort of the ones. I don't think Edison's in the conversation this season. But personally, I think it's Aaron Ramsdale. And you, of course, maybe put De Gea in there. I think it's just a few mistakes he's made. Just can't really put him in there. And I'm a massive De Gea fan. Ramsdale's elite. He's elite. He's developing for our eyes. He's clearly England's next number 1. Maybe Nick Pope is. Maybe Nick Pope. That was the other one. Nick Pope's another one that I could have gone with. But Ramsdale's developing for our very own eyes. What an incredible, not only distribution, but to have his level of shot stopping along with his distribution and conceding, I believe, the least amount of goals in the Premier League this season. He's an unbelievable player, Aaron Ramsdale, and he deserves all the plaudits. Has he conceded the least? Maybe Newcastle have. Maybe Nick Pope has. I could be wrong. But either way, I'm going with Aaron Ramsdale because I think he's an absolute gun. Goals against, yeah, Newcastle have conceded the least. Arsenal have conceded the second least. So, nevertheless, Ramsdale a gun. He is in goal for me. At left back, I'm going with Manchester United's Luke Shaw. If we have a look at Arsenal, Zinchenko's absolutely unbelievable. Cancelo hasn't had a fantastic season with City, and he's now on loan at Bayern Munich. What other contenders are there? Newcastle, they're not playing Dan Burn. Now, Dan Burn can play left back. He's playing at centre back. I personally think that Luke Shaw has taken his game back to the world-class level that he was only a couple of years ago around that Euros time. I think his defensive capabilities, we all know how good he is, and even his versatility now this season to be able to shift into the centre-back position. But his offensive capabilities and the amount of crosses he whips into the box after getting forward is absolutely elite, and I think Luke Shaw deserves all the plaudits he can get, and he is my left-back in this 11. The centre-backs, I could have gone with a partnership. I could have gone Gabriel as the left, Saliba as the right. I could have gone Martinez as the left, Varane as the right. People will disagree with this, but I'm going to go with Saliba and Varane. Not a lot of people are disagreeing with William Saliba. He's an absolutely fantastic player. Not many people, if any, will be criticising the opinion of William Saliba being in this team. He's a Rolls Royce, but personally I think he's the apprentice of a Rolls Royce, because I think Raphael Varane is still clearly one of the best centre-backs in Europe, the best Rolls Royce in Europe in terms of just cleaning balls up in such a smooth manner. I think Varane simply has to be there. I know everyone's giving the plaudits to Martinez, and I agree, Martinez is an unbelievable player, but Raphael Varane is so overhated, so underappreciated. He has to go in this team. Watching Manchester United's every single game, Raphael Varane is an incredible player week in, week out. Absolutely astounding how more people don't talk about how good he is. Varane goes in with Saliba. Right back, people are going to disagree with this. A lot of people I've seen have been pointing in Diogo Dalot from Man United. He's missed a lot of the season. I agree when he's played, he's been fantastic, but he had a few slip-ups against Brighton and Brentford, and then Wan-Bissaka's played a lot of this season really well. So I don't think Dalot can get in this team. He hasn't played enough. Kyle Walker's playing right back at City. Kyle Walker's had a few injury issues this season, but yeah, he's probably not in there for me. Ben White, however, who have people been putting out right back? Okay, people have been putting Kieran Trippier. I just realised. Trippier has been fantastic for Newcastle this season, I will admit. But Ben White, for me, is easily the best right back in the league. Maybe not easily. I think Trippier's second at the moment. Maybe Dalot would go above when he's playing consistent football. But Ben White, the positional switch from centre-back to right-back is a masterstroke from Mikel Arteta. the capabilities he has at centre-back, it's obvious he could use them at right-back, and Arteta just had to make that positional switch, and I think he's vital to that Arsenal side, and that's why there are so many Arsenal players in this 11, and why they're doing so well this season. Ben White, he's at right-back for me. Now, a lot of people have been going the one defensive midfielder, arguing over Casemiro, Partey, Xhaka, Rodri, and then putting in a midfield two of guys like Odegaard and De Bruyne. I've gone different. I've gone the two defensive midfielders, and then I've gone the one number 10. Casemiro's a no-brainer. He's the best defensive midfielder in the world. Has been for a long time. Incredible at Real Madrid. Incredible at Manchester United. I don't see him slowing down anytime soon. He is an unbelievable force, and I won't just say the best defensive midfielder in the world. I personally think Casemiro at the moment is the best midfielder in the world. He is an unbelievable player, and we're so lucky to have him at the Theatre of Dreams, playing week in, week out. Arsenal's defensive midfielder, not Thomas Partey. Not Thomas Partey, which a lot of people will be shocked with, but I've gone with Granit Xhaka. Xhaka, for me, has not only revitalised his career this season, but I think he's actually been more vital than Partey. I think he makes more of a presence on the pitch. I think his defensive capabilities are better. And I personally, could be a little bit controversial again, I personally prefer Granit Xhaka over Partey if I want him in my... If I can only choose one of them in my side, I'm choosing Xhaka over Partey, and that's just me. So, that could just be me, but I prefer Xhaka. The number 10, there can be absolute no debates about this. Kevin De Bruyne is not in this conversation this season, even though De Bruyne does play a deeper role. The number 10, Bruno Fernandes has had a good season, but I can't think of anyone else but Bruno Fernandes. It's Martin Odegaard. I mean, for me, I think Haaland, Odegaard, and Casemiro would be the three player of the season contenders. And I think Odegaard is currently with Casemiro. They're all three fantastic. But I think Casemiro, Odegaard, and Haaland are the three best players in the league at the moment. But Odegaard is a number 10, and he carries the ball in a way that it doesn't look like he's as young as he is. He captains Arsenal Football Club. He carries the ball in a mature way like we've never seen before. What is he, 21, 22? He's absolutely unbelievable, Odegaard. His creativity, his finishing, everything about his game is just not what you expect from a 21-year-old, still with a long way to take his game. The Norwegian is easily in the number 10 spot for me. The front three, no controversy here, really. Marcus Rashford on the left, best form of his career, better than the 2019-20 season, I'd even say, probably. Best form of his season, scoring goals for fun. He's had, 15 goals in all leagues, 9 goals in the Premier League. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Love Rashi, and great to see him back smiling and doing what he does best. Bukayo Saka on the right. I've seen some team of the seasons with no Saka, which just absolute scares the daylight out of me how you can't have Saka in your side. What a player. Again, like Odegaard, the way he carries the ball and creates at such a young age is astounding to me. And then, at striker, the first non-Man United or Arsenal player. And they're second in the league. It's Erling Haaland. There's no doubt about Haaland being in that team. It's just a bit unfortunate. Going goal, Ederson, no. Left back, Cancelo, Walker, Stones, Laporte, Akanji, Ake. If you go in the midfield, Rodri, De Bruyne, Gundogan, front three, Foden, Grealish, Mahrez. Mahrez is a good shout. I think probably the right wing choice between Saka and Mahrez. And then Haaland. Man City, as good as they've been in areas this season, they haven't been at their best, and positionally, they haven't been incredible. I think the two best positionally that could make a shout for Riyad Mahrez and Bukayo Saka were a 50-50 on the right wing. But Erling Haaland up top is an undisputed shout. And the worst thing is, City play better without Haaland. They revolve around him way too much, and it just doesn't work in that Manchester City 11. Yet, he is still going to win the Golden Boot, smash the Golden Boot record, and go be one of the Premier League all-time greats. I can guarantee what a player Erling Braut Haaland is. Now, we've got a bench. We have got a bench, so hold your horses. Let me get the bench up. Here is my team of the season bench, in case some of your favourite stars were missed out. There it is. Nick Pope as my backup goalkeeper. For me, second best goalkeeper in the league this season. I've gone the two Englishmen as the keepers. I think he's absolutely unreal, Nick Pope, and one of the most underrated players in the league. Then for a backup left back, we've gone with Arsenal's Alexander Zinchenko. What a player Zinchenko is. He just cleans up left back like nobody's business. He had a real emotional start to and middle to the 2022 campaign with all the Ukrainian wars, and he's made a move to Arsenal, and he's just revitalized his career in such a mentally strong way. What a player Zinchenko is. And I just really couldn't see this coming a year ago, him moving to Arsenal and revitalising his career in such an astounding way. Back up right back, Kieran Trippier. Yeah, fantastic this season, Trippier. What a leader he is for Newcastle. I think he's their best signing. You could maybe make a case for Bruno Guimaraes, but I think Trippier as a leader and as a person to have around the club is he's unbelievably important for Newcastle. Backup centre back, no doubts here for me. Manchester United's Lisandro Martinez. Unreal to Jamie Carragher, everyone that said he was too short, including myself in the second game of the season after losing 4-0 to Brentford. How could you not be saying it? But I deserve I've already given Martinez my apology. Martinez is like my favourite player. But Carragher needs to give him an apology. Pretty much most of the football world needs to give him an apology because 5'9" and no issues. Cleans up the ground like one of the best centre-backs you'll ever see. And easily our best centre-back pairing since a centre-back pairing I didn't get to see because I was so young, Vidic and Ferdinand. Martinez and Varane, I feel privileged to watch those two play football week in, week out. Absolutely privileged. Manchester City, Kevin De Bruyne hasn't had his best season, but the amount of balls he puts into Haaland and that front three, like, it's still astounding, and it sort of just goes under the radar because it's what we expect of Kevin De Bruyne. He's still an unbelievable player, and it'd be rude not to have him in this team. Thomas Partey is my backup DM. No debate there. Rodri this season I really like Rodri. Rodri's a fantastic. I love watching Rodri play. But for me, Thomas Partey's on being on a different level this season. Striker was a tough one for me because I almost went with a few. Obviously, Manchester United, we don't have any. Newcastle, we don't have any. The one man I was going to go with was Fulham's Alexander Mitrovic. I was really close to putting in Mitrovic. But people don't just realise Harry Kane is... If Erling Haaland wasn't in the Premier League this season, we would be raving about Harry Kane, about how good he is. His goals tally this season is through the roof, and just because he's playing in a struggling Spurs side and not getting the plaudits because of Erling Haaland being in the competition, and Alexander Mitrovic rising up through the ranks with Fulham, I think Harry Kane needs to get in this team because he is still a fantastic player and scored a great goal. He scored a great goal to beat Man City. So, yeah, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And, he just broke the Tottenham scoring record. How good is that? How good is that? That's just... What a player. It still goes so unnoticed. And then, my last bench spot goes to Newcastle's Miguel Almiron on the wing. Jack Grealish, who's laughing now? Miguel Almiron goes on the bench. Fantastic. Revitalises the flair of that Newcastle side, and he's vital. And there's just a few vital pieces in the Newcastle team. I think Eddie Howe has gotten everyone to know their roles, but then you've got some stars, not stars, but very well above average players. You've got Pope in goal, Trippier right back, Guimaraes in the midfield, and then you've got Almiron on the wing. If they can get a solid striker, I know Alexander Isak's there at the moment, and if Isak can bang, like I think he will, I think Isak's a fantastic player. I couldn't believe not enough people were talking about the signing at the time, but if he can start scoring goals consistently and get rid of those injury issues, Newcastle will be winning a league very, very soon with Almiron on that wing and Isak up top. Thank you all for watching the Premier League halfway team of the season. Let's quickly go back through the entire lineup. So, in goal, we have got Aaron Ramsdale. Back four, Luke Shaw, William Saliba, Rafael Varane and Ben White. In the defensive midfield, Casemiro and Granit Xhaka. At number 10, Martin Odegaard. And the front three of Marcus Rashford, Erling Haaland and Bukayo Saka. Now, let's take a look at the bench. And the bench is, if it will come up, the bench is Nick Pope, Alexander Zinchenko, Kieran Trippier, Lisandro Martinez, Kevin De Bruyne, Thomas Partey, Harry Kane, Miguel Almiron. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time for, I believe, the day this is coming out, I'll see you tomorrow morning for a watch-along, Man United versus Leeds. It's going to be a massive game. Make sure you tune in, set your alarms before school, and tune in. Have a good one, lads. See ya.